So let's talk about the study garage swing arm extension for the Kymco Spade. I'm gonna give you guys, see if I can give you some better close-ups of what they look like. You can see it right there. So this is what comes out once you lose your axle. You just pull this whole piece out and you end up with a square tubing basically right here. Then you just slide the extensions in, and you're gonna put these tabs back on, and then you're gonna put the adjusters. You can see them right there. And you're gonna do a brake extension. So basically just screw to the end of the brake wire, and the drum bracket just bolts about halfway into the extensions. You can see there's holes for it. Now you can adjust it. These extensions are adjustable from 4 to 6 inches, so you can actually make the bike longer. I just didn't want to do it. Right here we see where I cut the rear fender off and just moved the license plate up. Another thing that I did is I took the little bracket that holds the tail light and just bolted the tail light to the actual back of the fender. That way you get rid of that bracket that goes in there. Anyways, on this side it's pretty much the same thing. You can see the adjusters are really nice, and they make it really easy to adjust. When you do this, you're going to use at least a 130 link chain, and you're going to have to break the chain to size later on. And these are the little inserts that go in, and they bolt the axle, the swing arm, to the actual extensions. Everything else was pretty easy. You want to take everything, all of these off, and put it away in case you ever decide to go back to standard. This is obviously reversible, and it probably took me about 2 hours to do the whole thing with having to adjust the chain. I also did a 31 tooth rear sprocket because I wanted to have a little lower RPM and a little better top speed. And I actually took this bike on the freeway yesterday, and on flat ground they hit 75 miles per hour at 9,000 RPM, which is pretty fast. And I can tell you that that steering damper really helped keep the bike stable. When you do these swing axle extensions, the bike looks a lot better, and it really stabilizes the bike because they're very short, like the Honda Grom. So it gives the bike a feel of a bigger bike. It makes it much more stable, and it rides much nicer actually too, because it becomes less bumpy. I think because the suspension has a little more room to work. Anyways, this is where we are. I just wanted to show you guys, if you do have a Spade, if you're a tall guy like I am, and you know, this makes the bike look a lot nicer actually. It's kind of weird because right here it's actually engraved Chimera, but they powder coated it after the engraving, so you can't really see it unless you look you know, pretty close, which would be cool if you could see that it said that in there. Anyways, this is my aftermarket exhaust tube, and on this exhaust you got this little baffle inside here that you can take it out, and you can adjust the amount of gas that comes out of the exhaust, so you can make it more or less open. If you take this whole thing out, it gets pretty loud, and I think it takes too much of the back pressure of the engine, so I ran the regular baffle. There's on the end of the baffle there's a little cap. I put the cap all the way to the end, and that, to me, that gives me the best sound on the bike. So there's my little sticker, Steady Garage. They're pretty awesome, and they got more stuff for the Spade. So anyways, I think that's about it. Somebody was talking about mirrors, and this is the mirrors I use. They're really nice. They're a little bit of a pain in the butt to adjust because they got a lot of adjustment on them. But if you go online, you find them. They look really good, and once they're adjusted and tightened it up, they work great. They don't move at all. So, alright, we'll talk to you guys later.